My name is Lori Griffiths, and I'm from Lima, Ohio. In 2010, I was carrying my son. He was asleep, and I was getting ready to leave for work in the morning, and I missed a step on my front porch. That landed me in the emergency room with a compound fracture. Had surgery later that day. About 10 days later, when I went in to have my staples removed, my incision just opened completely back up, ended up with staph infection and 11 surgeries that year. Hyperbaric treatments, a PICC line, the whole gamut. About a year later, I wasn't getting the range of motion back in my ankle that I thought that I should. I was, an active 32-year-old at this time, and I wanted to resume playing basketball and volleyball, and so I sought treatment, and a CT scan discovered that my posterior tibial tendon was actually trapped in the fracture site, and that was never caught with the initial fracture and fixation. So at that point, I had two choices. I could live with it, or I could have it reconstructed. After going through what I had been through the year before, I opted just to live with it. So I did for about 13 years. And finally, in 2023, I decided that my quality of life was just decreasing, and I was having a hard time getting around, and so it was worth pursuing having it reconstructed. And because I had an old skin graft from the original infection and staph infection, my situation was unique that I needed a plastic surgeon and an orthopedic surgeon that would work together for my case. So that's what landed me at The Ohio State University. I had a great team, and in 2023 we went in with a game plan of 2 surgeries. The first surgery was going to be to remove the tendon from the fracture site, let that heal up, and about 90 days later we would go in with an ankle replacement, which would give me the quality of life and the movement that I desired. That did not go as planned. Ended up with septic and in the hospital for 2 weeks after that. Very sick, ended up with another PICC line. And at that point, they would not allow me to have the ankle replacement because of my history with infection. So my alternative for quality of life was going to be an ankle fusion. So in December of 2023, I had an ankle fusion. And about 3 months later, when I was able to start weight bearing, my goodness, it just did not feel right. But of course, those things take time. So at 6 months, they did a CT scan, which showed no fusion whatsoever. I wore a bone stimulator for 6 months in hopes that we could get it to fuse, and it just would never get there. There was just zero fusion, which they assumed was from underlying infection probably left in there. At that point, I had a choice to make, and the choice was to try the fusion again with bulkier, bigger hardware in hopes, that it would work and I could get back to the quality of life that I desired, or I could just have it amputated. And I had complete peace in my heart that amputation was the route that I wanted to go. I knew that with a prosthesis, I could be pain-free, and I know that I could get back to playing basketball and coaching my kids and doing all the active things that I so desire and love to do. I knew I could do all those with a prosthesis. So I went in December 17th of 2024, very optimistic, actually excited because I had been in such chronic pain for so long. I was excited to have an amputation. I just wanted to be pain-free. So it was great. The first 4 weeks were amazing. I was just cruising right along until I wasn't. And my incision opened up, and I ended up with revision number 1. I came home from the hospital on a Wednesday, went to sleep, my daughters and I, Wednesday night, woke up in the middle of the night, disoriented. My daughter was crying, saying her heart was beating fast, and ended up with carbon monoxide poisoning, and I ended up being life-flighted to Ohio State University that night, and almost lost my life. I ended up with 2 more surgeries that round, and that was early February. And that was revision 3, and then came home. Everything was great. I actually ended up getting into my temporary socket the end of March, and I was able to celebrate my 45th birthday walking. I was so proud. I was doing so well. Nick was just phenomenal, and I literally just hit the ground running. Another, I guess, thing to be noted was when Nick was fitting me with my prosthesis, he had me try on basically what my insurance said that they would pay for, and my goodness, it was very hard to walk in. It was much more difficult than what I thought, and I consider myself to be kind of stubborn, and so I didn't think that I would have problems walking in a prosthesis, and Nick could see the frustration on my face, and so he said, well, there is a new foot. It's, the billing codes are new, and I don't know how insurance is going to feel about it, but let's just try it on and see. So a week later, he had gotten a sample of this new foot, and I kid you not, I walked up and down the bars, up and down the bars, up and down the bars, and I could have easily walked out that day, but I wasn't allowed yet. And so we started pursuing that foot. The original billing from Perry got denied by my insurance company because it was considered a dynamic foot. And of course, it was a little bit more expensive than the foot they wanted me to have. So they did an appeal. My insurance company, they also denied the appeal. And at that point, I was just frustrated because I had known the difference in the quality of life that I would have in a standard prosthetic leg versus the dynamic foot that Nick wanted me to have. So my insurance company did 2 denials on this new dynamic foot, and I was very frustrated because I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do for my family, for my community, in the foot that my insurance company wanted me to have. So I had my physician write a letter, I had Nick write a letter, I had my physical therapist write a letter, and I wrote a letter on basically what this foot would mean to me and my family, my community. So about 3 weeks later, I received a call from Perry. It was a Friday afternoon, I'll never forget it, and it was Lori from billing. And I said, hello, and she said, do you want a job? And I said, what? And she said, your appeal worked. They overturned your denial. And I think we both cried, honestly. And she's like, I wish that more patients would advocate for themselves. A lot of people will get a denial and just accept it and not know that there's other ways out there that you can fight for your rights as a patient.
Thank you, Adam. Well, Bath Middle School's project Lead the Way class designs prosthetics as part of that course, but this year has a little more meaning. Zach Knippen was out in Wildcat Country for that story.
I work at Bath Local Schools, which ironically is my alumni and the community that I grew up in, and I just love giving back. I am their EMIS coordinator in the administration office. It is Education Management Information System. Basically, I handle all the data for the school, but I often joke that job title is what pays my bills. Having an office here in our middle school is what fulfills my passion, because my passion really is just our students and making sure they have the best experience possible here during their stay in the middle school, and hopefully giving them the foundational tools that they need to be successful adults.
I just feel so honored to be able to kind of show the students grit. And, we all go through hard times, but, you have a choice on how to handle it. And I feel like the students, if they are ever faced with adversity, I hope that they can look back and just realize that, you have 2 choices. You can handle it with a smile, or you can be mad at the world. And I have no choice but to handle it with a smile.
when we started this project, I kind of got my wheels spinning and was like, we could completely modify this a little bit and make this for Miss Lori. So that's kind of what we did. And like the kids said, we Lori-fied it. We put some, bedazzling, some glitter on there and some really fancy things for her. I know one student had a toe ring. So we definitely made it for her. And I think that made it a little more fun for the kids as far as they made that a little more real life connection, that real world connection. So they really enjoyed, I think, that part of it more so than anything.
To help them get a better idea of what it's like working with prosthetics and the people that need them, the middle school invited Mrs. Griffith's prosthetist, Nick Mowry, and upper extremity specialist, Mike Schrader, to give a presentation on how different prosthetics work and the impact they can have.
Just wanted to give a good overview of the field. It's a field that, unless you have somebody connected to you, a lot of people just don't know about prosthetics or orthotics, right? So having the opportunity to come in here, I think, is great for the field, just to bring awareness. It's Limb Loss, Limb Difference Awareness Month, so the timing of it was amazing. So I wanted to just give them an idea of, okay, if you are interested, here's what schooling is going to be, but then also really just show the impact that you can make in a patient's life, because that's why we do what we do. It's just, there's nothing like getting a patient to stand and walk again for the first time. So I wanted them to know that whether it is prosthetics or orthotics, like, you truly can make such a significant impact in somebody's life.
So my biggest advice is to listen to your heart. For me, my faith was a very big part in choosing to do this. And I felt like the Holy Spirit gave me peace. And I feel like when the Holy Spirit gives you peace about something, that's the direction that you should go.
Being happy is a choice, a hard choice, but a choice.
So then I kind of felt like I was on an island all by myself, because I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I knew that I was ready for this, but everyone around me was just kind of freaking out, like, why would she do this? But one thing I have learned, it's my journey. And only me and Jesus know what's best for me. And you have to embrace your journey. It is a long journey, but I do encourage you to be patient. I do know that it is my body. It is just this leg. It's just this stump. I've had multiple other surgeries and never had complications. And just every time I go under the scalpel, so to speak, with this right, used to be ankle, I end up with complications. And you just have to search for that inner peace that only you know, and kind of close out everyone else. But then that's a difficult task, because then you also are going to need these people. You need these people in your life, because you are going to need their help. And you just have to find a way to get them to understand that this means hope. This means, a new life. It means new opportunities. And frankly, for me, it's been new relationships. The people I have met through this journey, and I do feel like that is why the community of amputees is so important, because some of these things you just can't talk with anyone else. So I do feel like it is so important to get connected to somebody, whether it be through your prosthetist or through your surgeon or through your community, that can support you, that understands what you're going through, because there is nothing like having even a 5-minute conversation with someone and they get it and they understand, and you feel heard and you feel understood, and you don't feel like you're crazy. I've had a lot of people reach out to me on social media that I have been able to talk to, and it really is, it's a community of people that you never knew you needed, but it is so important. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is just to get connected to people who understand. And it is a long journey. My total journey to amputation was 15 years. But I feel like that was important, because I had to know 100% that that's what I wanted to do, because I never wanted to look back and have regret. Even now, I have no regrets on having my leg amputated. There's just so many blessings if you look for them. And there's also so many bad things if you look for them. So it's just really where you put your focus, and where you put your faith, and where you put your vision, and what you want your future to look like.